Look who's back again with a Back to the Future shirt on. This video, I said I don't do unboxing videos. Well, I'm going to do an unboxing video. But because, let me give you a little explanation of this channel that I have. You've heard me bitch many, many times about living in the People's Communist or Socialist Republic of New York under the rule of our czar, the asshole Andrew Cuomo, who, when he's not busy naming bridges after himself or his father, he's busy, making more restrictive gun laws. In any case, I can't do the channel that I want. In my dreams, I'd be able to take you outside right now and set up a chronograph and do ballistics testing on rounds and guns and barrel lengths and do comparisons between lighter, higher velocity projectiles against heavier, low velocity projectiles. I'd have barrier tests and all that stuff, but not enough to do that. So I can only do content that has a little bit of an angle to it. Like if you remember a couple of videos ago, Pops, how you doing, Pops? He asked me to do a Glock cleaning video. And I like I said in that video, does anyone need to know the video of me cleaning a Glock 19? Jesus Christ. But I put a twist on it. And the twist being I cleaned it like it was we were at a day at the range, at the NYPD outdoor range in City Island in the Bronx. Now this, I said previously, I don't really do unboxing videos because I don't really see the point of them. But, cleaning up and coming across some things, I came across an item that you'll know already by the title, where I'm going to do an unboxing video of a Glock 19. However, it is a Generation 2 Glock 19 that I was issued in 1994. I carried a revolver from 1990 to 1994. October or November of 1994 was when I transitioned. And when I did transition, I was given, I had to purchase it. I was given one of these. Look at this fucking thing, huh? Is it upside down? Yeah, it's upside down. Sorry. Look at this thing. Look at this Glock box, the combat Tupperware box that it came with the Stay Fresh seal. Well, what was on it? Well, it showed the, what do we got? We got the 5-pound New York trigger. That 5-pound trigger became a lot heavier over the course of my, of carrying this gun. What else we got? Do I have to bother covering up the serial number? Who gives a shit? Again, this is the box that it came in. Now, what's in the box? Well, let's see. I don't know if I can angle it down on the box. I'm gonna take it up. First, we'll take off the Stay Fresh top. The Tupperware top, and we got, oh, Jesus, look at this. Wowzer. What was in this thing anyway? Oh, it comes with your documentation. Oh, Jesus Christ. Apparently there were 3 models back then. You had the 19, the 17, and the 17 long slide, 17L. And the pages are stuck together. Trust me, I didn't do what you're thinking. Well, here you go. This is your Glock. Wow, they give like ballistics data in here and an exploded version of the gun. Okay, so I have this. I still have this. Oh no, I'm sorry. There were more versions. There was a Glock 17, 17L, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So there you go. Original documentation. What else came in the box? Well, the gun came in the box. What also came in the box was the gun came. The gun came as you see here. The gun came as you see here with a magazine in it. And 2 other 15-round magazines. These are this is contraband in New York State right now. 2 other 15-round magazines for a total of 3 magazines that we were issued with this gun. 3 15-round magazines came with our Glock 19. And what also came was a magazine loader. Very, progressive in 1994. This little piece of plastic was worth its weight in gold. And like I said, that combat Tupperware thing, because back then the NYPD issued the Sig Sauer P226, the double action only version, a Smith & Wesson 5.9, whatever. Somebody helped me out before. I still can't remember it. And as I told you, if you remember my story, I picked the Glock 19 not because I knew anything about Glock or cared. This was cheap. This was $385 that we had to pay for to get this gun. And the Sig was in the $800 range, the Smith was in the $600 range, and I simply couldn't afford it. But I had a friend who had the Glock 19 Another cop. Should I say his name? I don't know if I should. He had, when he took me out to the range of my fire, actually I was impressed with this plastic thing. So I said, you know what, for the cheapest gun, and this thing shoots pretty good, I'll go with the old Glock 19. Now this is the Generation 2 and in all of its glory, except for it always came with the night sights. We had to purchase it with night sights. And quick story, we were reimbursed. We had to purchase guns. And you know what, PD, you purchase all your equipment, including your firearms. That's how it was. And then the idea is that every December you got a uniform allowance where you could recoup some of that cost. This was like every other. I had to purchase my Smith & Wesson Model 64, NY64. I had to purchase that. It was like $170 when I bought it. I had to purchase this. Whatever grants worked out with the Police Foundation, the federal government, we got reimbursed for the cost of this, except for we had to purchase the night sights. They didn't reimburse for the cost of the night sights and the sales tax. In subsequent years, NYPD cops, when they came on, you picked your gun, it was issued to you, they covered it. I don't know if they still charge you for the night sights, though. In any case, these night sights, these are not the original night sights. I've had this gun so long, the original night sights burnt out. So I made it a point before I retired. I made them, I went to the armor and I made them give me a new set of night sights. And they did it. They put them on. So this is a Gen 2 in all of its glory. And what is it in all of its glory? It's the two-pin system we got going here. I guess we're going to call that 1 and 2. What else do we got? It's square. It's chunky. It has that fucking cutout. I always hated it. I think, if you watch my videos, you know I'm always talking about my stupid hands. And again, I'm close to dangling a pinky on my service gun. And even still, I'm over that ridiculous cutout. Now, the idea is that, well, you know what? If in the event of malfunction, you could rip that gun out. You could rip that magazine out. But seriously, I couldn't grab this thing. The way it sticks out, I just couldn't grab that and rip it out. I hate this cutout. I continue to hate the cutout. It's a gun that didn't fit in my hand that great to begin with. And now, for some reason, in Gen 5, they brought this fucking cutout back. I do not get it. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, maybe when this thing first came out, maybe the Gen 1s, I know they had the all polymer magazines, and maybe I heard that if you load them with 15 or whatever it was, they would swell on the sides, so you would need that because they wouldn't fall free. Well, that's not the case with this gun. They all fall free because these magazines, it has the steel, the metal inserts in them. They never issued us the all polymer magazines, if those things actually existed. I didn't know. I can't speak from total experience. NYPD always issued us these magazines, and these have been replaced since whatever it is on the bottom. They swapped out our magazines like 10 years into it. Restricted. After that ridiculous 10 round magazine restriction, we have the law enforcement only stamp on our magazines. I think all three of them. They reissued us 3 new magazines with that. Let's take another walk around this Glock 19. It has the original, well, that's not really stippling. I don't know what that is. It has some half-ass checkering here, some half-ass checkering there. Like all Glocks, it's very similar in that. The trigger is Glock standard. It was issued. Now, what's interesting, this box said 5-pound New York trigger, which was a little heavier than I guess what regular Glocks were back then. And in subsequent range cycles, we'd have to take these guns we drop off anyone with Glocks to drop off the armor, because the NYPD was in a constant struggle against this light trigger that was on this gun, and they kept on changing shit in it until they finally stumbled upon that bright orange New York bullshit trigger, that lawyer trigger, where this trigger became basically like an electrical circuit breaker. It was like nothing, and then click like that. It made the gun very unpleasant. Not unpleasant to shoot, but it really was, the accuracy suffered on it. I have since experimented, since I retired, I've experimented with different trigger springs. I had put the original, the stock trigger spring in, and now I found that to be way too light. I think I mentioned that. And I've since swapped it out with you can't really see it, but it's right there. It's like that green olive drab New York 1 trigger. I found that with a New York 1 trigger with an aftermarket connecting bar, whatever it's called, there is the best combination for me. I like the way this trigger actually feels now. I think it's just heavy enough where it's, you know, if I carried this gun a long time with that New York trigger, going to the stock trigger was a little scary for me. This is probably the best combination of it. What else do we get with the Generation 2 Glock? Well, you know, this is what you see. This one was carried exposed on a holster and a duty rig for a long time, and you know, I think it held up very, very well. The only thing I had to do with this gun was, oh, you know what? I'm getting away from it. Since this is an unboxing video, let's see the rest of the box. Once you take all the crap out of the box, you're left with this thing. It has the warning stuff right on the box. And what is it warning me of, by the way? Do not store a loaded pistol. Well, I guess that's really good advice, seeing as how the box itself has a thing that sits right on the trigger. So I guess you really shouldn't store a loaded trigger. So I guess that I can't, you know, make fun of that. That's good advice. But I mean, nothing really else has changed about this gun, and I've said, I think I said a couple of times that I want to do a Glock 19 video, and I'm going to do one because I'm going to take this to the range, and I don't know, because I can't, I mean, we all know how Glocks 19s, I think pretty much everyone watching me, if you don't own a Glock 19, you've at least shot one, or a Glock 17, or any type of Glock, and they probably all feel the fucking same. This one feels like a Glock 19 Generation 2, which probably feels like all the rest of them, except the time when they had the finger grooves and maybe filled in this stupid thing. The Glock, this never really fit my hand perfectly. It was always a compromise for me. It was never a good feeling gun. I never liked the grip angle. I did like the low bore axis. I found these sights right away, and it's an easy gun to shoot, which is why they're so popular. It was incredibly reliable. I mean, I put how many thousands of rounds through this gun, and it was pretty much, I could put on one hand how many times it failed that wasn't due to ammunition. And that's why I said any failings it did have was simply due to age. At one point towards the end of my career, this is a new locking block, or fairly new locking block. The other one it broke in half. When I was doing a detailed cleaning of the gun, it just broke in half. I also said I had some failures to extract. I only recently swapped out the extractor, and while I was in there, I put on I got rid of a polymer. Why not? I got rid of a polymer guide rod, and this is a tungsten guide rod to add a little more weight to the front of it, because I'm not going to carry this concealed anymore. Other than that, this thing has been flawless and perfect, except that, you know, it's you know, a Glock, and it really is, as you know, what you would expect. There's no mystery to this. I mean, they're Generation 5 now, and does it really look that substantially different? Not really, no. Good gun, and you can't go wrong with it. You saw my nightstand video. I was the fastest with this. I was accurate with this. Now, a lot of that comes from the extensive training I've had with this. Carrying this gun on your hip and using it for 24 years will do that. I should be good with it. But there's a reason why these guns are so popular. And I don't see a reason for me to buy another one unless this thing was to melt in a fire or something. But I think everyone, you know, a gun like this gun or a gun like this is worthwhile for anybody to own. That's really, you know, the unboxing video. This is what you got. For those of you who are big fans of Generation 2 Glock 19s, here we are. I'll give you one more walk around. Now, I was going to just do this video as a kind of a goof and a nostalgia thing, but I think I'm going to add a little shooting to it. And again, do you need me to see me shooting a Glock 19? No. But what I'm going to do is, I think I will attach to the end of this video maybe you could attach this to my previous Glock 19 video, a day at the range. Not really, because I can't do it because I'm going to a public range. But I'll show you the course of fire that we do. Unfortunately, I can't show you the rounds hitting the paper, but I'll get a target close to what we used to use, and I'll take you through the course of fire. And basically, for those of you who give a shit, we would start out at the 25-yard line, and we would fire 5 rounds, and it would be something like this. You know, we start from the holster. And you go on the tone, you know, give me 3 rounds and holster. Boop, and you go pew, 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 and then you'd holster. Then you'd wait, and then you go on the tone, give me 3 rounds in 8 seconds, 2 rounds in 5 seconds, and holster. After you fire those 5 rounds, you say, okay, you know, pick up all your shit, move down to the 15-yard line, top off your magazine. And we do the whole rigmarole of topping off our magazine, so we have 16 rounds in here again. And then we would be at the 15-yard line, where you would shoot another 15 or 20 or so, whatever it is. The majority of the shooting was done really close up, but we'd shoot maybe 15 rounds from the 15-yard line and then move to the 7-yard line, top of magazines as you see, I think, and then you do like 30 rounds from the 7-yard line, because that's what the FBI says, and that would be your course of fire. And you'd have to get everything within a shaded area, and I forget what the grade, passing grade was, and then you'd be qualified. In between that, you'd fire off other stuff. They do other drills and things of that nature, but I'm not going to do that. So maybe I'll give this thing one last moment in the sun and do an NYPD style qualifying course of fire on it, and you could see exactly what this whole thing does for itself. So until then, Glock 19 Generation 2. For those of you who may have been on a job and carried them, there she is. For those of you who always wondered what it was like, well, I don't know what it was like, but this thing held up pretty good, you know? Carried in the snow and before I forget, the only thing I added to it was this, and they always used to get all pissed off at the range when I brought this there. You can't have, why can't I have this plug in there? What is it? How is this possibly going to cause a gun to malfunction? Because I tell you, what was a problem, carrying this thing exposed to the elements and living with this gun in a car and taking all your meals in the car and everything, this stupid opening in the back of these Glocks, you know what went in there? Dirt, dust, snow, mud, potato chips, whatever fuck else you came in contact with. Plug that shit up, and that's what I did. And so that was my one modification to this gun. You know, so I didn't change the backplate or anything. So there we go. Let's cut to some shooting, and maybe I'll do if I think of something else, I'll do a post-boxing video wrap up, and I'll show you the target that I put up, and you could all be hopefully impressed.